Namaste. Namaste. Achievers are some people who we see day to day. அதாவது நம்மளுடைய நெக்ஸ்ட் டோர்ல இருப்பாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி அச்சீவர்ஸை நம்ம நிறைய பார்த்துருக்கோம். இன்னைக்கு நான் அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு அச்சீவரோட தான் கொஞ்சம் பேச போறேன் அபவுட் ஹர் அச்சீவ்மெண்ட்ஸ். சிஏ அப்படின்றது எல்லா காமர்ஸ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கும் ஒரு ட்ரீம். பட் நிறைய பேர் அந்த ட்ரீமை பர்சியூ பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, திங்கிங் தட் இது ரொம்ப டிஃபிகல்ட், என்னால் முடியாது அப்படின்னு தே மைட் நாட் பர்சியூ பண்ணி அதில் அச்சீவ் பண்ணுறது ஒரு பெரிய விஷயம். சிஏ பாஸ் பண்ணுறதே ஆர் ராதர் 40% ஒவ்வொரு சப்ஜெக்ட்லையும் 50% ஆன் ஹோல் வாங்கினாலே ரொம்ப செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணுறோம். 60 ஒரு சப்ஜெக்டில் வாங்கிட்டா தட் பர்சன் இஸ் கன்சிடர்ட் அஸ் ஃபேபுலஸ். அந்த சப்ஜெக்டோட கமாண்ட் ரொம்ப அதிகம்னு அர்த்தம். சிஏ இன்ஸ்டியூட்டே ரெக்கக்னைசஸ் இட் அஸ் எக்ஸம்ஷன் மார்க். பட் ஐ ஹாவ் அ பர்சன் ஹூ ஹேஸ் been consistently scoring ranks. மொத்தமே 50 ரேங்க் தான் ஆல் இந்தியா லெவல்ல. ஓகே, and at inter level also she got a rank. Final single digit rank nu சொல்லுவோம், that is the top 9 people. அதுல all India level 4th rank, which is big, which is remarkable achievement, and she is just like our next door girl achieving. Thank you, Smrithi. Thank you very much for coming and thank you for spending. Hearty congratulations. So, ஒரு சின்ன ரீலிவிங், அதாவது ஃபுல்லாக என்னால் ரீலிவ் பண்ண முடியலனாலும் ஒரு சின்ன மெமரி, அந்த ஸ்கோரை பார்த்துட்டு அந்த ரேங்கை பார்த்தோன்னா how you felt?
So I was not expecting that high of a rank. So I was very, very happy. But more than me, I think வீட்டில் எல்லாருமே they were more happy and excited to see that rank.
Okay. And yeah, that's wonderful moment, no doubt about it. And generally, what inspired you? எந்த இடத்துல சிஏ பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்றது உன்னுடைய ஜர்னில?
So mostly after school, when I picked commerce, I just decided because of finance, this would be the best course to pursue, and I started doing CA. And I think what inspired me was the level of dedication and commitment it requires. So it's not an easy course to get through, and I wanted to give it my best.
அட் இன்டர் லெவல் ஒரு ரேங்க் வாங்கிட்டோம்னா அதுவே வந்து ஒரு இன்டைரக்ட் ப்ரெஷரா, ஃபைனல்லையும் ரேங்க் வாங்கணும்னு ஆர் அட்லீஸ்ட் பீப்புள் அரவுண்ட் யூ வில் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் இல்லையா?
Right, so that pressure is there, but also you just have to keep studying and try doing your best, and it's okay if it does not happen.
Okay, good. So that mentality you developed. Right, நான் உன்னுடைய இன்டர் லெவல்லேருந்து ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன். கொஞ்சம் to our student friends, how you prepared your inter? What are all the do's and don'ts?
So from inter, I was the first attempt for new syllabus. So appove I started using only the study material to prepare. I think that's my number one thing that I did across all 3 levels. So I only used institute study material for almost every single subject, and I focused only on their sources, institute or study material, RTPs, MTPs. So for each subject, I just revised that 2 to 3 times and practiced the sums, and made sure multiple revisions happened for each subject.
So study material is the most important thing on our CA.
Yeah, definitely. So I think even for difficult subjects, when we take faculty coaching and everything, the coaching material I used to understand the initial stage of preparation. So while taking classes, understanding and revising what the concepts were immediately after the class ended or the next few days. And then, but when I went on exam leave and started preparing for the exam, I only used the study material for almost every subject.
Great. So, interla எது ரொம்ப challenging subject?
I found ITSM to be the most scary and challenging because it's very generic IT concepts that commerce students are not exposed to. So for that alone, you need to put in that effort to make sure that is okay. But apart from that, I think law or IT was the most challenging.
Okay. After your inter, when you entered Big 4, ஏன்னா அதுவே நிறைய டைம் டிமாண்டிங்காக இருக்கும், நிறைய ஒர்க் இருக்கும். அதில் பேலன்ஸ் பண்ணி how to study final or how did your final preparations right from classroom start?
One thing that I did was to finish my classes earlier and made sure that I got time to actually study, because more than classes, whatever efforts we put to finish a subject or revise, that was what would help you score marks. So I did that, and I think COVID helped me and everybody else in this who were doing their CA final prep during that time, because it saved us from the traveling for like 3 hours a day plus, so that you could use that time to watch class or study. So that also helped me a lot. So you just try to do like 1 or 2 hours of studying along with work, and that should help.
Fantastic. So can I ask you to summarize subject-wise how to go about in final?
Okay, sure, sir. So starting with financial reporting, I used only the institute study material. So most of the questions that are there are coming only from the study material. For multiple attempts, that's the trend that's been observed. So we just have to make sure all our concepts are strong. And even if they are new questions, they are based on the theoretical part of the study material, which is not yet been solved into questions. So for that, you can only exhaustively study from study material to make sure you're not missing out on anything. So study material compiled with the RTPs and the mock test papers is all I did. And for FR, there is a lot of theory involved. So if we decide to stick to only the big questions like consolidation, we might skip out on the theoretical part. So we should also focus on that and try to make sure that that part is covered. So only the ISM and the RTPs and past question papers. And it's also important for FR to give mock tests because it's quite lengthy. So you have to, before going into the hall, make sure that 1 or 2 mock tests you're able to write comfortably.
That is FR. What about SFM?
SFM, I watched Dinesh Jain's classes, and also I studied only from the study material because for our attempt it was updated with all the questions that have come up. So I used the study material and I used Dinesh Jain sir's compilation of all the RTPs and suggested answers along with some questions from the practice manual. So this is what I revised. And one thing I did for SFM that really helped is to initially mark off the questions that were difficult in the first revision, and while you're coming to your second or third revision, to only do those questions, and you can almost just ignore or just look at the other easier questions of each chapter, which you'll be able to solve even if you don't study it the day before the exam. So if you narrow down the list of questions each time you study something, that's going to help you in the last 1.5 days. So I had a list of around 100 to 120 questions that I studied the day before the exam along with the theory. So for SFM theory, I feel the chapters from the study material, that is chapter 1, 2, 3 and 6 and I think startup finance, those 5 chapters alone almost account for all of the theory. So if we just focus on that for our theory of 20 marks, we should be able to attempt the theory questions more easily.
In the theory papers like auditing, law,
audit also, and law, mostly I use the study material or notes of the study material, and I felt that what helps is to do it with space repetition, as in when you're studying theory, or vati padicha, you'll forget it in the next few days. So to do that, to help combat that problem, you can do it every week along with a practical subject like FR or DT. If you forgive at least 1 or 2 hours a day to revising an audit chapter or a law chapter, it can greatly help you. So for both of them, I used the institute study material and made notes and markings wherever I could. And I think revision videos also help you a lot. If you're bored or if you don't feel like studying, you can watch some revision video to revise theoretical subjects like even DT or IDT. You can revise it quickly because a lot of practical part is not involved.
In the selective paper, how to select that? What did you select it?
For elective, I chose risk management because I thought that was the most interesting subject apart from economic laws. I felt like everybody was taking economic laws and I was kind of unsure about reading other laws. Company law I really liked while studying for law, but economic laws I didn't much prefer. So I decided to go with risk management. And that is one of the best things about risk management is it actually makes you apply whatever you study while writing the question papers. At least the past 3-4 papers have been pretty much analytical and application wise. So even though you study, even though it's an open book test, you have to apply the concepts from a book and write it. So it's very interesting. And SFM also comes in your risk management paper for around 15 marks around this time. So that SFM I was strong in. So I used that to do well in risk. So I made a detailed index for risk management and use that while trying to write the exam, because in the exam hall you only have 4 hours and you have to attempt 4 case studies. So if you split it hour wise, you need to make sure you can find the chapter or the question very easily while writing the answer. So I made a detailed index not just for the institute study material but also for all the past questions and past mock test papers and other sources that I see, like case study digest. So just to understand what case study, what is it about, you should have an index so that if a similar kind of case study comes, you can try to figure out if that's there already in the book. That will save you time.
Yeah. So our institute study material to a larger extent has helped you to secure this rank. Apart from whatever coachings, whatever private coachings, this the major factor from whatever you speak, I understand, is our institute study material.
I was just not able to use any other book and be comfortable that I had completed all of the syllabus, because I always had the fear that I was missing out on studying a few chapters or a few concepts if I didn't go by the institute. Also, I feel if it's institute is setting the paper and institute is giving you the books, I think we should use institute's material to study and write the exam.
That's a good answer altogether. That's a very different answer also altogether. So going outside CA for a minute, I mean, how does the society react to your rank and your parents all?
Yeah, they were more happy than me. They were very, very excited. My parents and my grandparents were extremely happy, and all my relatives were very, very overjoyed. I got a lot of calls from a lot of friends and relatives that day and office colleagues. So it was a very proud moment for all of them.
Great. Are you a first generation chartered accountant of your family?
No, my father is a chartered accountant as well as my aunt, my mom's sister. So both of them are CAs.
So you got your own help from them and got the inspiration also going in your... what next?
I am still considering all of that. So there are a lot of different options. So I'm taking my time to think about it and make a decision.
What would be your thing to the students who are now going to write the final or now starting their preparation for final?
One thing is it involves a lot of effort initially, and it's draining in some ways because you don't know if the effort is going to pay off with the result. But it's just to put in consistent efforts, and if not, to measure in terms of hours, but in the number of revisions or the number of times you have gone through a concept. So that is what I would say, and to just kind of make it through, because there is no specific way to be motivated and happy all the time while studying, but you just have to get through the course and be open about the papers.
I completely agree with you with the point. There is no one way of success here. Then everybody would have followed that particular way. There is no one way of success. But just I'm asking you, is there a matter of luck which plays a bigger role also along with your work?
There is some luck involved, but I think a lot of it is controllable by some of your actions. Like if you know that suppose if you know that there is a huge chance that this question or this chapter is going to come, and you decide I'll test my luck and not study that chapter, then you might lose out if it appears. So you can control your luck problems by making sure you've covered most of your syllabus and most of the questions that are there. So if you know a lot of the answers, you will be able to answer, and it will not become impossible to attempt a paper. But that being said, there is luck involved in almost everything, so you have to be hopeful for that.
Now, coming to one more question which I have, which a person like you answering will help the students community. How far this mugging up is going to help?
For CA, a lot of the concepts are memory based. They are not extremely different in every attempt. They don't ask completely new questions that are there. But I feel if you understand a concept in detail the first time you study it, remembering it the next time would not be as difficult as compared to if you start trying to memorize the entire thing without understanding what it is. Then you'd have a problem with the whole remembering part. But mostly the initial classes that you take or the initial time you revise something, if you make sure you understand it and clear your doubts straight away, then getting through that part of it would not be as difficult.
Yeah. By mugging up, I also mean something else, because again, I want it from you as a how far you remembered all the sections, case laws?
I made a list of sections to study for Companies Act and Direct Acts, but then it's more like I didn't use that on an everyday basis. I would just say that helped for me to link all the sections and remember. So if you go section wise, you'll be able to remember the content of that section better, and it helped me link where each chapter and each part of that chapter was. But it's not a requirement to qualify also. You can remember the concepts and make sure that you write those correctly before trying to write a wrong section number or anything. So as long as the content of that section is correctly written and your conclusions are right in the exam, you will definitely be awarded marks.
Okay. In this journey of preparation and in the examination, at any point of time you felt that you are not up to the mark, or is there a point that you dipped and then went up?
Definitely, sir. So there are a lot of moments where you don't feel, especially when you're writing a mock test or when you're solving a difficult question and you're not able to come to that question's answer. There are, in each subject, there are difficult topics that you don't feel comfortable with. Even like there's no way you'll achieve 100% comfort with any of those. But the point is to just keep trying, and even if you're not able to make it in a difficult chapter, to put in extra efforts, or at least to keep trying so that you don't give up. Because you come, like after articleship, there is a lot of effort that you put in to get to that point. So you should just make it through the exam and the course.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Smrithi, for your time and excellent rank. One of the finest. You have made your parents, your teachers, the community as a whole very proud. And the best thing is you're going to motivate a lot of people to achieve that.
Thank you, sir.
All
Thank
the
you
very
for the
best.
opportunity.